You ever see a new shooter show up at the range with a $700 pistol and leave feeling worse than when they started? I have, dozens of times. Hands shaking, flinching hard, frustrated after 3 mags, not because they sunk, but because they got sold the wrong gun. Nobody tells new shooters what actually matters. They just say get a Glock or buy what the pros use. And that's how people quit before they ever get good. So today, I'm fixing that. These are the world's best 9mm pistols for new shooters. Soft shooting, easy to trust, and shockingly overlooked. Nobody told you about them, but they should have. One of these literally changed how a first-timer felt about carrying, and number 2, that should have replaced the Glock a long time ago. So, let's go. I used to think the P365X was just SIG trying to milk a hit. You know the type. Slap an X on the end, throw it in a red dot cut, and charge $50 more. But when I handed this pistol to a first-time shooter last year, they outshot my Glock owner buddy on their second mag. That's when I shut up and started paying attention. The P365 is small enough to disappear in your waistband, but big enough to shoot like a real gun. Flat trigger, crisp break. That X-frame grip gives you just enough real estate to stay in control without feeling bulky. And it's got the one thing most tiny pistols don't: confidence. New shooters don't need match triggers or 20-round mags. They need a gun that doesn't scare them when it recoils. This one does that better than most. You can run it slow, fast, one-handed, limp-wristed. It just works. And if you ever want to upgrade later, good luck finding something that doesn't feel like a step down. Most new shooters don't say it out loud, but they're nervous to carry. The gun feels bulky, hard to conceal, slides stiff, and sights are tiny. And the recoil, it jerks their hand like they did something wrong. That's why the Glock 43X MOS quietly became the go-to first pistol. Not because it's exciting, but because it just works. It's slim, but not too slim. The grip gives your pinky a place to live, and that changes everything. The slide, easy to rack, predictable. The recoil, light and straight back. You won't feel punished when you miss a shot. And once you're confident, that MOS plate lets you mount an optic and go even further without switching to a bigger gun. This isn't a flashy pick. It's not even a hero's gun, but for someone starting out, it makes carrying feel normal, safe, quiet, and easy to trust. That's what keeps it in holsters and off resale shelves. Next up though, we're talking about a compact 9mm that somehow feels custom built for rookie hands and doesn't cost a fortune either. You ever get handed a tool that just feels like it's going to be easy, but turns out to be more trouble than it looks? That's the Ruger Security 9 for most shooters, and I'll tell you why. On paper, it sounds like the perfect starter gun. Budget-friendly, 15+1 capacity, light recoil. But when you actually get behind it, this thing has quirks that'll trip up more beginners than you'd expect. First of all, the slide isn't as soft as its competition. You'll hear first-timers struggle with it at the range. Not ideal if your hands aren't strong or you're still learning the mechanics. Then there's the trigger. It's got that long spring-loaded pull with a weird break that doesn't inspire confidence when you're just figuring out your rhythm. The manual safety placement feels like it was made for someone else's thumb. Awkward and unnecessary for a striker-fired style system. But here's why I still put it here. Once you learn it, this thing runs. It's simple inside, rugged, and takes abuse like a champ. You can shoot steel, reload, cheap stuff. It just keeps going. Just know this isn't your friendly neighborhood toy. It's a gun that demands respect and some practice. Let's be honest, new shooters usually do one of two things. They either blow away too much cash on something showy, or they cheap out and get burned. That's where the Taurus G2C has been causing arguments since it first showed up. People love to thrash this gun. You'll hear it being called a junk pistol, budget toy, or even unsafe. But here's what they don't tell you. Most of those critics haven't even fired more than 20 rounds through one. The truth is, for under 300 bucks, this pistol gives you a real grip, a simple trigger, and a carry-ready size. It's not some featherweight that jumps out of your hand, and it doesn't feel like a plastic airsoft knockoff either. It's double stack, 12+1 capacity, fits most hands, and has a reassuring bit of weight to it. That matters when you're learning. The recoil's manageable, the breakdown's straightforward, and once you run decent ammo through it, it doesn't choke nearly as much as the internet claims it does. Is it perfect? Nope. But then again, it's not meant to be. If you're brand new and need something reliable, controllable, and affordable that actually feels like a real gun, this is where you start. And the best part? You're about to meet its bigger, smoother cousin at number 10. Stick around. New shooters don't even know this pistol exists, and that's exactly the problem. Everyone's too busy worshipping polymer Glocks or chasing budget Caniks. Meanwhile, the CZP-10C has been sitting in the shadows, punching harder and shooting straighter than both. You want a pistol that actually makes you better with every mag? This is it. The ergos lock in, the trigger feels like it came out of a much more expensive pistol, and the recoil, it's barely there. Flat, crisp, almost boring, but in the best possible way. But here's the real kicker. Most new shooters never even touched one. Gun stores don't push it, YouTubers barely whisper about it, and because it's not on every mall ninja's hip, folks assume it's not for them, and that's a joke. The P10C makes you feel like you've been shooting for years, and once you grip that undercut frame, feel how the slide cycles and how it points, you'll ask yourself, why the hell didn't anybody tell me about this sooner? It's not just underrated, it's criminally ignored. And what's coming next might be the only pistol under $400 that actually deserves to be called pro level. Most people walk past the effing section like it doesn't exist. And honestly, that's their mistake. Because the 509 Compact isn't some showpiece or a trendy plastic. It's the quiet, clenched jaw type, the kind of pistol that doesn't need hype to prove it belongs. You grip it, and it bites back just enough. No slip, no floaty nonsense. It rides heavy for a compact, but that's what keeps it flat. New shooters usually struggle with timing, when to reset, when to control the recoil, when to trust their grip. The effing 509 Compact figures all of that out for you. You just point and squeeze, and it handles the rest. The slide texture, the aggressive serrations, the deep cut sights, everything about it screams fight ready. Not flashy, not soft, not trendy, just built for the damn job. Nobody puts this one on a beginner list because they assume you can't handle it. But the truth is, if you start here, you're already ahead of half the crowd. Let me tell you something real. Most pistols claim to be budget friendly and newbie friendly, but when you actually hold them, they either feel like a toy or slap your palm like they're teaching you a lesson. The Canik Mete MC9, it doesn't play those games. This thing's built like it skipped all the boardroom meetings and went straight to the range. For a compact 9mm, it fits in the hand like it was made for you and not some checklist. The grip texture, just aggressive enough to stay put without chewing your skin off. The trigger, honestly, it's miles better than what you'd expect in this price bracket. Crisp, clean, and predictable, like it's been hanging out with race guns behind your back. Here's the real deal. If you're a new shooter looking to carry something without spending Glock-like money, the MC9 gives you optics-ready capability, a slick profile for concealed carry, and damn near match-grade performance straight out of the box. Recoil? Tame. Ergos? Spot on. Reliability? Canik's been earning stripes in competition circles for a reason. This ain't just a starter gun, It's a sleeper pick that makes seasoned folks raise an eyebrow and rookies feel like they're already 2 years in. Ready for number 7? Well, here it is. You want to throw a brand new shooter straight into hell? Hand them a snappy Micro 9 with no forgiveness, no grip, and call it a starter pistol. That's how bad habits form, and that's how confidence dies. But the Shield Plus, that's how you get it right. This isn't your buddy's tactical Glock clone or some plastic featherweight that prints like a billboard. It's lean, controllable, and quietly deadly in the hands of someone still learning. The recoil, soft enough that it won't slap a rookie in the face. The trigger, not dreamy, but clean enough to teach real trigger control. And forget what the forums told you. Shield Plus ain't here to flex. It's here to stay out of your way while you figure out how to shoot fast, reload clean, and stay calm under pressure. You learn muscle memory on this thing, not mall ninja fantasies. It doesn't ask for praise, it doesn't come with marketing hype, but for first timers with real goals, this pistol is the cheat code nobody hands you until now. Now, if you're just getting into concealed carry or you're new to pistols altogether, the Ruger Max 9 might be the best decision you could ever make, and hardly anyone tells you that. Why? Because folks love to thrash budget guns, and Ruger always gets tossed into that cheap but works pile. But the truth is, the Max 9 hits way above its price. It's red dot ready out of the box, which, let's be honest, is huge for newer shooters. You're not wasting time lining up iron sights or second guessing your aim. You slap on a Holosun 407K or something small and clean, and it just works. The trigger, it's crisp enough that it doesn't punish you for beginner errors. The recoil, manageable. Even if you've never fired a 9mm in your life, this won't beat up your hands. And the grip texture, not too slick, not too aggressive. It's like Ruger finally understood what entry-level shooters actually need. Something stable, small, and confidence boosting. But what really sold me was that it didn't jam, not even once. No stovepipes, no double feeds, even with bulk range ammo. That kind of trust matters when you're still building muscle memory and figuring things out. Next up, a pistol so smooth and accurate, even seasoned shooters double check the price tag. You'll see. Nobody's talking about the HK CC9, and that's a crime. This thing came out of nowhere and flipped the compact carry world on its head. It's everything the Glock 43X wishes it was. Smoother frame, cleaner break on the trigger, and that signature HK reliability. You would expect a gun this clean and tactical to cost a fortune, right? But the price undercuts the snobbier options, and it still feels like you're holding a $900 gun. Slide serrations, razor crisp. Controls, low profile but clicky. And the grip, it's weirdly perfect. Like HK finally gave up on their over-designed Euro grip angles and just listened. It's a blend of the P30's texturing with the VP9's contour, but slimmer, lighter, and tuned for speed. Now here's the real kicker. It eats everything. Steel case, cheap brass, subsonics, the CC9 doesn't care. No jams, no complaints, it just works. People slept on this one because it didn't drop with a million influencer reviews or fancy launch videos. But mark my words, the HK CC9 is going to be the new benchmark for serious concealed carry. And what's coming next? Oh, we're dangerously close to the big hitters, so buckle up, amigos. You ever pick a gun and immediately go, oh yeah, I'm going to shoot the hell out of this? That's the Walther PDP full size. Now I know what you're thinking. This thing looks like it's meant for competition or some tier 1 operator. But nah, this one's built so clean, so controllable, that even brand new shooters end up looking like they've been training for years. Here's the truth. Most beginner pistols make you work for accuracy. The PDP gives it to you on a silver plate. That trigger, short, crisp, almost psychic. You press it, and the round's already out of the barrel. Combine that with the optics-ready slide and deep super terrain serrations, and you've got a pistol that practically invites you to learn on it. The grip module's big, but the ergonomics are pure comfort. No weird pressure points, no sliding around in sweaty palms. The full-size frame actually helps. Less recoil snap, more muzzle control, better follow-up. You shoot faster, more accurately, and most importantly, more confidently. And the weird part? It doesn't get the love it deserves from the first-time crowd. Maybe it just looks too serious, but if you're serious about learning, this is the cheat code. Next one, it's got a slim profile, Glock attitude, and it's taking over the beginner market quietly as I speak. I wasn't expecting this one to hit as hard as it did. Not with all the options out there in 2025. But damn, Springfield's XDM Elite 3.8-inch compact just keeps showing up on carry lists, range bags, and dealer sell-throughs. And it's not some fluke, mind you. There's real performance backing it up. First of all, this thing shoots like it's bigger than it is. That match-grade barrel isn't just for show. Trigger's crisp, recoil's tame for its size, and it balances out like a much heavier gun. Folks who own it aren't just happy, they're recommending it to others. You don't get that kind of word of mouth unless the gun's delivering every damn day. And you know what people don't mention? Breakdowns, feeding issues, slide hangups. You'll find internet fights over Glock versus SIG every day of the week, but the XDM Elite slips right past the drama and keeps doing work. That's rare. Springfield might not be winning the flashy Instagram game, but on the firing line, this compact punches way above its weight. And yeah, it's still affordable enough to feel like a smart move even after the fact. And that's why it's at number 3, because it earned it. Let's get one thing straight. This isn't a gun that begs for your attention. It's not sitting under spotlight in some fancy store shelf, and it sure as hell isn't trying to be your favorite YouTuber's carry pick. But the Beretta APX A1 carry, it doesn't need any of that. This thing just works. No safety gimmicks, no over-designed controls. Just a stripped-down, brutally reliable subcompact built for one job, staying with you and firing when it has to. And it's been doing that for people who couldn't care less about fanboys arguing striker versus hammer. You want slide serrations? They're there, cut like they mean it. Trigger? Better than most give it credit for. Reliability? Boringly flawless. You know how people buy this gun just to try it, then end up never switching back? More than you'd guess. It's the kind of pistol that slips under the radar until someone's standing at the counter and the salesman quietly slides it across and says, "Trust me," and they do. But number 1, that one didn't stay silent. It walked in late and still stole the whole damn show. Alright, you probably didn't see this one coming, but if you've actually shot the Dagger Compact, you know exactly why it's sitting up here at number 1. This thing costs less than dinner for 2 at a halfway decent steakhouse, and yet somehow it runs like a champ. Palmetto State Armory didn't reinvent the wheel here. They borrowed one from Glock, but the way they slapped it together, shockingly solid. You get a stainless steel slide, aggressive front and rear serrations, steel sights, optics-ready cut, and a trigger that, while not winning any awards, is completely usable out of the box. Add to that the fact it takes Gen 3 Glock parts and mags, and you've basically got a modular platform that costs less than half the price of a name-brand striker-fired pistol. And no, this ain't some clunky range toy. Folks are carrying this daily, beating the hell out of it, trusting it, and still walking away impressed. It's not perfect, but damn if it ain't punching way above its weight. And just when you think this list was done, there's one last name that's about to raise some eyebrows. There's no magic gun that makes you good, but there are guns that make you want to keep learning. That's what these were built for. If you're still unsure, rent before you commit. 2 mags can save you $600 and a whole lot of disappointment. And if someone tells you just buy a Glock and shut up, tell them Steve said that's how you end up selling it a month later. Drop your pick down below. I'll tell you straight if it's solid or if it's going to make you hate shooting. See you next time.